Yes. I'd like to order 2 continental breakfasts, croissants, coffee, of course, and 2 glasses of fresh squeezed orange juice. Room 317. Thank you.
Did I hear you ordering freshly squeezed orange juice?
Well, that's what it says on the menu, but I will believe it when I see it. Oh, I do hope they send that coffee right away.
Well, I don't think either of us got very much sleep last night.
Oh. We stayed up half the night. What do you expect?
Well, we had a lot to talk about.
Oh, Marion, it was so good to get to know you again.
Again, it was more like, for me, getting to know you for the very first time.
I suppose so.
Wonder how Daddy's doing this morning. I've really been praying he's going to pull through this. I realize that you don't feel the same about Daddy as I do, but still you will help me, won't you?
Help you?
Well, yes, we've got to stop these wedding plans. He and Nancy were supposed to be married next week. We just can't let her get away with that.
Miriam, I know this is very difficult for you to understand, but your father's personal life is no longer any of my concern.
But, Mother, you're the only one who can stop him now.
If you haven't been able to convince Charles, I doubt if I can.
No, but you don't understand. See, when Daddy filed for divorce on the grounds of desertion, the waiting period was 1 year.
It's not that now?
No, the state legislature passed an amendment to the law which shortened that period to 6 months.
Well, then the divorce would be final. I've been gone longer than that.
Right, but you see, Harold Webster told Daddy that the actual period started with the filing date, not the time of the desertion.
Oh, now you've really lost me.
Well, you see, Harold is on our side. He doesn't want Nancy to marry Daddy either. And he figured that this would give us about 2 more months to change Daddy's mind, but the problem is our time is almost up.
You mean Harold lied to Charles?
Well, yes, but it was for his own good.
Well, I'm not surprised that Harold lied. But I am surprised that he'd lie to Charles. They were such close friends.
Well, they're close business associates. But he doesn't want to see Daddy lose everything to Nancy. Besides, Harold is a good friend of mine, too. He's the one who took my side when I was almost committed.
Committed?
Yes. Nancy convinced Daddy that that was the only hope for me.
You mean she tried to have you locked up?
Right, I told you that she wanted to get me out of the way so she could have Daddy all to herself. Mother, she is desperate. She won't stop at anything. I mean, you saw her in that wheelchair yesterday.
Well, yes, what happened?
Well, a couple of months ago, she had this little accident. She's been faking paralysis ever since, just to get Daddy's sympathies.
She would fake a thing like that?
Oh, yes. I was by the house one day, and I saw her through the window, and she was walking around just like you or me.
Well, if you saw her, dear...
I know. But she denied everything. See, she just claimed that I was seeing things again, that I was hallucinating. And I guess with my past history, it's not easy for people to take my word over hers.
Even your own father wouldn't believe you?
No. Harold did, though, and he says that we have to have proof in order to convince Daddy.
Oh, she must have him wrapped around her little finger.
I know, but Harold sees right through her. Of course, he and Nancy go back a long way, and they never have gotten along very well.
So that's why he's so anxious that she should not marry your father.
Right. But you see, he has done just about all he can, and that's why it's up to you now.
Oh, Mary, I don't see what I can do if your father is determined to marry this young woman.
But, Mother, I told you what she's like. even if you say that you don't love him anymore, still you wouldn't want him to marry someone like her, would you?
She certainly sounds like a despicable person.
Well, that is a very accurate description of her. Now, if only there's a way that we can just stop the proceedings so that when he recovers, he won't get this divorce automatically.
Would you think if he had time, he'd change his mind?
Yes, I do. If we can just prove to him that she's been faking all along, I do. But Mother, we need time. So would you do that, please?
I don't know. I just don't know.
What are you doing here? Well, what's so funny? Well, what are you laughing at?
Oh, you obviously haven't seen this morning's paper, have you?
No, I haven't. Why?
Now everybody knows. You've been faking.
No, I just because I stood up, it was only for a second.
Nancy, you've been conning us all along.
No, that's not true. Charles fell and I saw him and suddenly the adrenaline just started pumping and I got up. It happens sometimes that way. I mean, that's what Tab said.
Forget it, Nancy. Won't wash. Not anymore.
You're not going to show that to Charles in his condition, are you?
Of course not. I'm going to wait till he gets better, and then I'm going to show it to him.
But I can explain. I swear I can.
I can explain, Nancy. You've been faking this paralysis of yours so that you could trick Charles into marrying you.
No, that's not true. And Charles isn't even going to believe you anyway.
You believe this. That's all that counts.
Yeah, but that's not what it seems.
Well, you know what they say. Picture's worth 1,000 words.
Cut it out, will you please?
Where's your, Captain Marvel?
Tab, he's not here today.
Shazam. Well, that's too bad. He realized your ship was sinking, didn't he? Smart fella.
No, he's just got the day off, that's all.
Oh, dear, it's too bad he can't be here to help you pack.
Pack? I'm not going anywhere.
No? Well, maybe you don't realize it yet, Nancy, but your days of living off Charles Carpenter are over.
Get out of here. Get out before I call the cops on you.
I'm gone. Don't you forget. I could be saying those same words to you.
Get out.
Yes, Russ. No, I'm sorry, I can't make it right now. In fact, I'm booked up all morning. Well, if you would care to set up an appointment for later this afternoon, I suggest you call my secretary.
Well, what did he want you to do? Drop everything and come running right over?
Apparently.
You know, Russ has a way of forgetting that we have a hospital to run.
And patients to take care of.
Yeah.
Oh, Alex, how's Charles Carpenter this morning?
Well, his EKG is stabilized, but he's still in critical condition. It's possible that he's going to have to undergo some surgery.
Bypass?
Might be his only hope. Still too early for us to tell.
Well, if you do decide to go ahead, when would the surgery be scheduled?
It's hard to say. It takes a little time for us to be
Terry,
able to
Dr. Greeley, has there been any change?
Yeah, Miriam, Terry and I were just discussing your father's case.
Well, how is he?
Well, there's been no change since last night, but he's resting comfortably now.
Oh, well, can we see him then?
A nurse is with him right now, but as soon as she leaves, well, you can visit him briefly then. But remember, he's still in intensive care, so don't expect too much in the way of responses, if any. Well, now, if you'll excuse me, look, I'll discuss your father's case in more detail a little later on today.
Of course.
Look, why don't you two sit over here in the lobby area? The nurse shouldn't be too long. I wish I could wait here with you, but I really got to get back to my office.
Well, how's Laura doing? Have you heard anything?
I talked to Ben late last night. There's no change. She's still very withdrawn.
I've been praying so hard for her recovery.
Thank you. We all have. I know it doesn't look good now, but I know that the Lord is going to answer our prayers and bring Lori back to us.
And Daddy, too.
Oh, of course. Look, don't you worry about a thing. I mean, considering all he's been through, he's doing fine.
What about Nancy? Has she been here to see him?
Well, as far as I know, not since last night.
All I can say is she had better stay far away from him.
Don't worry. Dr. Greeley has restricted visitors to members of the immediate family. And that's you. Look, why don't you sit down here a while, relax, and read the paper for a bit. I have really got to be running, so I'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
Bye.
Terry! Terry, come here!
Of all the luck. 1 second either way, and I would have been okay. If that's that Webster again, he's got to be sorry this time. I'm really going to let him have it.
Well, well. I gather you read the morning paper and found out you could walk.
What are you talking about?
Interesting thing yesterday afternoon, hours after that picture was taken, you were telling me what a helpless cripple you were. Obviously, your situation's improved.
Well, if this is some kind of joke, I don't think it's very funny at all.
Well, I don't find it in the least bit amusing.
Well, it's not what it seemed. Yesterday, when I saw Charles fall, something happened. The strength just came in my legs. It's like the adrenaline, all the excitement and everything just got me going. Before I knew it, I was on my feet. It's a miracle, really, it is.
If you don't mind my asking, I'm wondering why you went back to the wheelchair after this so-called miraculous recovery.
Well, because my legs aren't really strong enough yet. I mean, when you've been off your feet for as long as I have, it takes a while to get used to it.
Well, like I said, I'm so happy that you're so much better.
Yeah, it's just amazing how the strength comes back in your legs. Really.
Yeah, it's amazing, miraculous. I can see it.
Are you here about Tab? Because if you are, I haven't seen him.
No, we picked him up yesterday afternoon, a little bit after you called.
You did? Well, why didn't you call me?
Well, we wanted to question him first.
Well, did you get my jewelry? I mean, has he got everything?
Well, no,
Or did you
hold
bring
on
it all
just a
with you?
second. Mr. Barron claims that you gave him the jewelry as payment for services.
What? Absolutely not. We paid him by check, and in fact, I even have the canceled checks. Would you like to see them?
No, I wouldn't, thank you. But you didn't authorize him or give him permission to take the jewelry?
No, he took it right off my hand, my engagement ring. Wait, you didn't believe him? I mean, you didn't let him go, did you?
No, he's still being held in jail. You'd be willing to testify this in court?
Yes, I would prefer that the publicity is kept as minimal as possible, you know.
Oh, well, of course, I understand.
Oh, well, do you have my jewelry?
Well, now, we have to hold the jewelry. It's evidence. We can't let it go until after the trial.
After the trial, well, when would that be?
Well, that depends on the court docket. Could be a few days. More likely, I'd say it'd be a couple of weeks at least. Maybe even 2 or 3 months.
What?
Mother, would you look at this? There she is. She's standing up in front of everybody.
Why, so she is.
Oh, I can't believe. Did you see it, Terry?
No, it's incredible. What a picture.
I can't believe it. Yesterday, I didn't see her do that. Did you?
No, we were both so busy looking at Charles.
This is the proof that you have been waiting for. We suspected all along that Nancy was faking.
Yes, Miriam has told me all about it.
I just cannot wait to show this to Daddy.
No, not until he's strong enough. It could come as quite a shock.
Oh, sure, of course. But Mother, you see, this is what I've been praying for. Something that would prove to Daddy what she's really like.
Well, there you are. It's in black and white.
Looks like my sister has finally reaped her just reward. I knew that this would happen someday.
You know, I find it so hard to believe that you two are sisters. You're just so opposite.
Thank you. I take that as a compliment. Actually, we're only half-sisters.
Oh?
Her childhood wasn't easy. And my mother tried to treat us both the same, but Nancy always felt that I got more attention and love than she did. I don't know. Maybe she's right.
Well, do you suppose that's what makes her so anxious to buy her own happiness at any cost?
Make up for her childhood? Mm-hmm. Well, maybe. I do know that I've made many excuses for her in the past. But no more. Whatever trouble she's in now, she's brought on herself.
Nancy even tried forging a copy of their mother's will.
No.
Nancy wanted my mother's house all to herself. But then we found a copy of the will that she hadn't tampered with, and if we hadn't, we never would have found out.
And that's when she set her eyes on Daddy. Had to find another meal ticket.
Looks like this time she's bitten off more than she can chew.
Well, this proves it. I can't believe it. It does.
Have I got news for you?
Huh? Nancy's picture in the paper.
Oh, I wanted to surprise you.
Well, I wasn't surprised. But Nancy sure was.
That phony. Now everybody knows what she's like.
Yeah.
Boy, I couldn't have done it better myself.
You?
Yeah. I had it all planned, you know. I mean, Miriam was supposed to jab her in the leg with a hat pin and have her jump up in front of everybody. But the picture, we really needed the picture, and, well, Tab ruined the last ones we took.
Hey, what?
Well, you told me not to tell you, remember?
No.
Yeah, well, Miriam snuck into Carpenter's house late one night and got some pictures of Nancy walking around in her bedroom. Only trouble is, Tab got to her before she got out the door.
Brother.
But this is perfect. Huh, now everybody knows.
Yeah. Well, at least one good thing has come out of Charles having a heart attack.
Yeah, how's he doing?
Well, as far as I know, there's no change.
Oh, I'm sorry about Carpenter, but still wish I'd have been there.
It's a good thing you weren't.
Well, I just wanted to give her one little kick in the shins.
Look, the important thing is that Nancy's exposed now. And when Charles pulls through this thing and realizes what she's done, he won't want to have a thing to do with her.
Well, if he does, he's got nobody to blame but himself.
Those are for me, I hope.
Well, if your name is Babs Farley, they sure are.
Afraid not. Just my luck.
Well, could you tell me where I might find her?
Patient?
That's what my boss said.
Let's see. Farley. I remember the name, and she's not here now.
Well, she's got to be. I mean, as it says right here, Babs Farley, Kingsley Hospital.
Excuse me. Miss Farley hasn't been a patient here for quite some time.
Well, that's really weird. My boss told me I'd find her here. Worse than that, he told me if I'd better deliver these personally or else.
Well,
Terry, have you got a minute?
if you'll leave them here, the hospital will deliver them for you. Yeah, sure.
They sure are gorgeous.
Hey, what am I going to do?
Well, leave them. We'll get them to her.
I'm afraid I can't do that. I got my orders. I got to deliver these personally or I'll lose my job.
Really?
Hey, how about helping a poor guy out? You think you could look up Miss Farley's address for me?
Oh, I'm afraid that's against hospital policy.
Well, has your morning been as chaotic as mine has?
It's been worse,
Oh, impossible.
but true. Any change in Mr. Carpenter?
No, not yet. Miriam's with him now.
I know.
You know, this has got to be rough on her, Terry. She's my main concern right now. I just hope she doesn't experience any emotional relapse.
You mean like what she went through before?
Oh. You know, her father's heart attack could put a great deal of stress on her.
I don't think she'll collapse under it this time. The Lord is giving her extraordinary strength right now. Even her mother's commented about it.
Well, it was a good job while I lasted.
You mean he'll really fire you?
He's got a personal interest in Miss Farley. Say, could you do me a favor?
Sure.
Would you mind explaining to my boss the hospital policy? It might help.
Hey, look, I can't give you her address, but I do remember her, and seeing Mrs. Davidson reminded me.
Yeah?
And I know she's living with someone named Redland in the Chesterfield area of town.
Redline in the Chesterfield area? Right. Hey, thanks so much. Oh, here. This is for you. You just saved me my job.
Babs, would you mind?
You sure it's nothing about Ronnie?
Listen, if I find out anything, you are going to be the first to know, okay?
Yeah, okay. I'll be outside if you need it.
Okay, Don. Well, Mr. Brubaker, what is it that I can do for you today?
I got a call from Nancy Lawson yesterday afternoon. She says this guy named Tab Barron stole her jewelry and tried to leave town. We picked him up. He had the goods on him, all right. He had her engagement ring and everything.
Now, that engagement ring, I would say, properly belongs to Charles Carpenter.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen this morning's paper?
Yeah, picture of Nancy.
Uh-huh. This confirms my suspicions. She's been faking this paralysis of hers so she could trick Charles Carpenter into marrying her.
Now, what about this guy, Barron?
Yeah, he's in on it, too. Charles asked me to check into him a couple of weeks ago. I just got the report back this morning. Want to see it?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Well, It's just like I thought. He's got a record of fraud, blackmailing schemes. My guess is that jewelry is some kind of payoff.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me a bit.
The thing is, it's going to be very difficult to prove it.
You still got him locked up, don't you?
Well, sure, we're holding him in jail, but all we can do is charge him with theft.
I wish there was some way we could tie Nancy into this scam. She's been after Charles Carpenter everything she could get her hands on for a long time.
Listen, I'll let you know if there's any new developments, but I don't think Nancy's going anywhere. We're holding her jewelry as evidence.
Hey, that's nice work.
We aim to please. Listen, thanks, Webster. You've been real good.
Yeah.
And if I come up with anything, I'll let you know, huh?
Okay, appreciate it.
Talk to you later.
10-4.
So tell me, what's the story?
Tab Barron was arrested yesterday afternoon with all of Nancy's jewelry.
No.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Nancy claims that he stole it from her.
Well, so what? She stole it from Charles Carpenter. I mean, they ought to throw her in the can, too.
Well, maybe this is the next best thing.
What do you mean?
Brubaker's holding on to the jewelry as evidence. Without that, Nancy hadn't got a penny. She can't make a move.
It couldn't happen to a nicer person.
Yeah, just exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, there's your sister now.
Yes, it is.
I'd like to have a few words with her. Would you excuse me?
Well, I'll introduce you.
No. That won't be necessary.